A love story so powerful even the sea couldn't forgive it. Hello, my dear students. Today we are going to learn Chapter 8, Chemmeen by Thakazhi Sivasankara Pillai. This is a tragic love story set in a fishing village showing how love, tradition, and beliefs can change people's lives. Students, before I begin, let me introduce you to the characters. The first character is Karuthamma, a young woman torn between love and duty. The second character is Pareekutty, a sincere Muslim trader who truly loves Karuthamma. The third character is Palani, a brave fisherman and Karuthamma's husband. The fourth character is Chucky, a loving and caring mother. The last character is Chembankunju, an ambitious and greedy father. Students, now let's begin with the first part, that is life in fishing village. The story begins in a coastal village where people depend completely on the sea for survival. Life is risky, but fishing is their only source of income. For an example, like farmers depend on rain, fishermen depends on the sea. Now let's move on to the second part, that is Chembankunju's dream. Chembankunju dreams of becoming rich by owning boats and nets. He is determined and slowly becomes greedy. For an example, like someone who starts with a small goal but becomes too money minded. Now let's move on to the third part, that is love between Karuthamma and Pareekutty. Karuthamma and Pareekutty falls deeply in love. Pareekutty is a Muslim and Karuthamma is Hindu. Their love is pure but difficult because of religious and social differences between them. For an example, like two people loving each other but facing family opposition. Now let's move on to the next part, that is betrayal and greed. Pareekutty helps Chembankunju financially, but Chembankunju refuses to repay him. His greed destroys relationship. For an example, like borrowing money from a friend and not returning it. Now let's move on to the next part, that is Karuthamma's forced marriage. Due to social rules, Karuthamma is forced to marry Palani. Palani, even though she loves Pareekutty. For an example, like being forced to choose something against your wish. Now let's move on to the next part, that is life after marriage. Karuthamma tries to be loyal wife to Palani, but she is emotionally disturbed and cannot forget Pareekutty. For an example, like trying to move on but still thinking about past. Now let's move on to the next part, that is Chucky's death and guilt. Karuthamma's mother, Chucky, dies and Karuthamma feels guilty for leaving her and she feels very bad. For an example, like regretting not being there for someone in the last moments. Now let's move on to the next part, that is Pareekutty's downfall. Pareekutty loses all his wealth and lives a lonely life because of betrayal and lost love. For an example, like someone losing everything because of trust and heartbreak. Now let's move on to the next part, that is belief of sea goddess. The villagers believes that if a fisherman's wife is unfaithful, the sea goddess will kill her husband. For an example, like believing that bad actions bring punishment. Now let's move on to the next part, that is Karuthamma meets Pareekutty again. Karuthamma meets Pareekutty again and their love becomes uncontrollable. For an example, like meeting someone from your past and emotions returning back. Now let's move on to the next part, that is Palini's death at sea. At the same time, Palini goes fishing and faces danger in the sea, leading to his death. For an example, like someone unaware of danger while others are making a mistake. Now let's move on to the last part, that is tragic ending. Karuthamma and Pareekutty are found dead together on the shore, showing their eternal love and tragic fate. For an example, like love stories that end sadly because of society. Students, now let's see what is the conclusion. This story shows how love and society often come into conflict. It also highlights the struggle and beliefs of people living near the sea. Students, now let's see what is the moral. Blind beliefs and social pressures can destroy true love. Students, thank you for listening. If you like this explanation, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more easy and interesting lessons. See you in the next class. Until then, bye.